I don't always celebrate when someone gets indicted, but when I do, I like to do so in a completely tacky fashion and talk about it on social media. Let me explain. So, why am I so excited that someone's gotten indicted? Well, the person that I'm talking about is Connie Taylor. She is the Cobb County Superior Court clerk. She has been indicted by a grand jury for destroying public records and violating her oath of office. And the reason many people like me and in lots of other areas of the law in Cobb County are celebrating right now. She has absolutely made so many people's lives terrible because she has done such a bad job as Cobb County clerk, and apparently has also done some things that have violated the law. How bad of a job has she done? She's done such a bad job that the former Chief Justice of the Superior Judge of the Superior Court clerk had to declare a judicial emergency because there was so much chaos because she could not do her job right. She, at the Superior Court clerk in any county, wears lots of different hats. One of the things she's in charge of is scheduling criminals, letting them know, criminal cases, letting defendants know when they have court, keeping accurate records with regard to, civil and criminal pleadings. She's in charge of making sure that people who have had their records restricted or sealed, that gets done. She has a bunch of other jobs, but also she processes passports and processes those fees. And that's going to be important in a minute. So when people started looking into all the chaos, we were having people that weren't noticed for court. I particularly had a client, this is such an awful story, who had been falsely accused of something. Thankfully, the prosecutor finally saw that that was the case and dismissed the case. But the charges were pretty terrible. And part of the process at the end was that the Superior Court clerk was ordered by the judge to seal his record so that employers, things like that, couldn't find out. And he worked in a very sensitive industry where having any kind of criminal record could really hurt his career. So the clerk was supposed to seal it. We think everything's fine. And then lo and behold, we find that the clerk never did her job. So here's this poor man who's already been through the ringer being accused of a felony that he didn't commit. And now when everything's supposed to be wrapped up because the clerk didn't do her job, his employer ends up dinging him because this is still on his record. So we got it fixed, but we shouldn't have had to do that. And I'm just one lawyer with one client. There were multiple examples of this. So already this woman was doing a terrible job. And I heard a story once that when she was running for reelection, so it would have been a year plus before, she made everyone in the clerk's office stand around her and hold hands and pray out loud that she get reelected. I don't know if that story is true or not, but the person who told me it, I trust them implicitly. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what kind of person that we're dealing with here. That's a government employee making people pray on government time. Not okay. Anyway, so let me get to why she's been indicted. So there is a law in Georgia that allows clerks to, when they process passports, to keep the passport fees. Okay. I know that's insane. And not her office, the clerk personally, like it becomes her personal income, even though she's not the one processing the passports. I mean, the people that work in her office are, right? So it was discovered that not only had Connie Taylor taken in like $400,000 into her personal income from passport fees, but she was also keeping the money that is supposed to be charged for expediting a passport to the tune of like an additional 80-something thousand, apparently, which she was not allowed to keep. Well, this became public. A whistleblower in her office reported that Connie Taylor, when all of this stuff started to come out, ordered her to destroy records. And thankfully, this employee said, I am not doing that, and blew the whistle on Connie Taylor trying to destroy public records to hide what she had been doing allegedly. So it took a long time. This happened years ago, but finally a Cobb County jury has indicted her. And of course, the Cobb County judges, because they've been so negatively affected by all of this, they have recused themselves. The Cobb County DA's office has recused themselves. So this is being handled by a judge that is, I think he's retired, but he came from a separate county. And the Attorney General's office is handling the prosecution. So Cobb County is staying out of it, as they should, because we've all been so negatively affected by it. But the question is now, what's going to happen? Well, the criminal case has to work its way through the court system, but the governor can now look into what she's done and suspend her potentially without pay while it is being explored. And if she is found guilty, he can remove her and put somebody else in. And frankly, a very poorly trained possum would do a better job than she is doing. So I'm open. If the Atlanta Zoo wants to send one over or whatever, we're cool. We'll take her. So we're all very happy to see that that is moving along. I will note one more thing, and I'll definitely keep y'all updated on this, is she did not have to pay a bond. They set it up so that apparently she had what's called an OR bond. They've changed the name of it. Basically, it's a signature bond. And for those of you that have been following the Patel case, poor Mr. Patel, despite even seeing video where he didn't try to take a child, was denied a bond and kept in jail for 45 days. Now, yes, those were very, very serious charges, but they already knew that he hadn't done anything wrong, and they kept him in jail with no bond for 45 days. And then we've got this woman that has caused chaos in a relatively large county here in Georgia. Apparently, according to the allegations, done some pretty terrible things herself, done awful things to her employees, allegedly. And she walks out without having to pay anything. So it's just one of those things that just irritates the hell out of you. Anyway, I will keep you updated. This is in the news. This is going to be a hell of an interesting thing to follow. But we're all happy here in Cobb, so I'll keep you updated.